Julie. Good morning, everyone. I want to thank you for inviting me here today, as well as all the other candidates. Give them a chance to speak their piece. When I first started to run for office back in 1995 and lost, I was looking to have a new charter in town. On several occasions, that did not pass. It finally passed in 2009. There's a slight delay from when it originally started, but it was something that needed to be done to bring our town into the 21st century. And with our new town manager, Julie Jacobson, reorganization has begun and will continue over the next 12 months. I'm one who plans ahead for the future, not just reacting on things that we're up against as far as being immediate.
But I can tell you, I'm 52 years old. I was raised in Auburn. I bought my mom and dad's house. I have substituted in the schools, and I have the utmost devotion for our town. The town has given us a lot, and now it's time for us to give back to the town. I'm going to learn. I'm going to learn about bonds and tax rates. I don't want to see anything go up. I don't think any of us can afford anything. But there are three key points, and I think Mr. Grossman did touch upon one of them. Julie Jacobson is going in an incredible direction, and I support her 100%. And I want to support her to continue in her efforts as town manager. Second is our elderly. I'm very, very concerned with our elderly, with the price of medicines, insurance, oil bills, co-payments for medicines. You people took care of us, and it's our turn to take care of you people. And I promise that if I take one of these seats, I am going to work very hard with the elderly. You deserve quality of life. And I also want to make sure that end-of-life quality is provided to each and all of you. I have a tremendous amount of respect for you. Thirdly, I look at our buildings and our Route 12, and it kind of looks like a ghost town. I'm really hoping, working with Julie and working with business owners in the town of Auburn, that we can collectively work together and see what we can do to continue to make Auburn more business friendly. It's not going to happen overnight. Our problems didn't happen overnight, and they're not going to be fixed overnight.
Where do you make the cuts? If we make any cuts, services will be affected. Well, we've had the economic collapse, we've made the cuts, and I'm proud to say that services in large part have not been affected. You just have to be creative. You have to be surgical with your cuts. You can't just do broad strokes, and that's what we've been able to do. Now, in the last few years, the stabilization account has increased in the last 3 years. In the last 3 years, the stabilization account, when I got on the board, was $200,000 on a $46 or $47 million budget, which is completely irresponsible for any organization. As I stand before you today, there's about $2.2 million in there. So while the economy is tanking, while cuts are being made, the town of Auburn managed to take $2 million to boost our stabilization account. It doesn't matter why the bond rating went down, but we have done everything we can, despite the economy, to position ourselves to increase the bond rating. For those of you who don't know what a bond rating is, that's our credit score, and it was decreased in the last decade. We need to get that back up. As far as it comes to taxes, you'll often hear that the selectmen raise my taxes, the board raise my taxes, the board raise my taxes. The board does not raise your taxes. We don't have that authority. Tonight we will go to town meeting, and a budget will be presented to town meeting members, and they will vote on a budget that will raise your taxes. If town meeting decided to cut the budget and send town management and the Board of Selectmen back to restructure that budget at a lower dollar value, then your taxes would go down. The Board of Selectmen does not raise your taxes, town meeting does. And this year, the budget being presented is not 1.25%. It's not a 1% increase. It's a 0.38% increase to your taxes from last year. Within that, we're putting $3 million into roads, about $1 million of which is state funded. We have supported full-day kindergarten at a cost of almost $400,000. We are doing this without laying anyone off and without affecting other services. So on a 0.38% increase, although I generally am supportive of reducing the taxes, I think that is actually pretty good. Town meeting will decide whether that budget goes through, whether the tax levy goes up more, or whether the tax levy gets cut. And the board and town management will accept whatever they decide.